Hello, here we go again. Okay, episode 6 of my Star Wars Edge of the Empire solitaire campaign. I've made a few adjustments to my screen here just so my video here isn't always sitting kind of right in my way. I can probably... Excuse me. Okay, so last time Jax managed to make it to Tatooine with his cargo, which he now knows is a cargo of kyber crystal valued at about 20,000 credits. He knows he's really not being paid enough to deliver this, considering the danger that's come along with it. But he's a professional, and quite honestly, he needs the money. He's kind of a little low on credits here, even kind of getting to Tatooine. Just about. I mean, he's not broke yet, but he's down to 680 credits. The 1250 that was advanced to him for this job. If he fails this job, he's going to be on the outs with Vexar on, and he's going to be trying to find work elsewhere now with a even worse reputation. Jax, of course, is known as owing a debt to a crime lord, a Trandoshan crime lord by the name of Gruck. We've kind of haven't had to deal with him in a little while since the first episode where we kind of introduced him, which is kind of cool. Jax has kind of got the Captain Malcolm Reynolds, Serenity Firefly kind of thing going. That's kind of the whole basis. The Session Zero, really, I should actually take another look at it, because the Session Zero that I built was kind of like the have the ship run smuggling jobs, do jobs even if they're legit, keep the ship in the air kind of thing, or keep the ship in the sky, right? So anyway, so last time before I finished up, I did another obligation roll. Basically, I need 20 or less on my obligation roll to actually have one of my obligations come up. So those obligations are, the first one being a 10-point obligation, owing that debt of 50,000 credits to Gruck. Again, we'll worry about that when it comes up next. And the second part of which is just this sense of responsibility of taking care of Kay, an Ewok that he kind of helped out several months ago and who's just stuck around and stayed on the ship. So that's kind of where we are. I realized, just kind of looking at a few things, being like, we haven't had a new thread. We haven't had random events happen. Why is that? Well, new threads is really kind of me to create, and I just don't think we've really kind of come across a new thread yet. I suppose there's different threads I could have created. Getting the crate back from Cade Marlowe's little hired thieves. That could have been a thread. That kind of thing. As for random events, I realize something I'm forgetting is that when I ask a question of the Oracle and roll on the fate chart, if there are doubles, if it's a double number, when I roll this, there's supposed to be a random event that happens. I honestly cannot remember whether I've rolled doubles at any time whatsoever, so it's just going to be one of those things I'm going to start trying to remember to do from now on. Alright. Other things going on right now. Jax's the Driftwood, his ship, the YT-1300 freighter, its hyperdrive is currently inoperable. So right now, as we just kind of finished up the last scene, Jax and Professor Thalos Vexar, who is the buyer for these kyber crystals, and apparently was an academic who specialized in kind of this kind of engineering, based around especially around ancient Jedi weapons like the lightsaber and such. Jax doesn't know this, but this is basically his retirement plan. He's hoping to sell these for big bucks, a lot more than he's paying for them, and then retire. What I determined last time is that there's Jax knows there's still people looking that are going to be interested in this cargo. Cade Marlowe, he dealt with Cade. Cade's probably not going to be back for this cargo anyway, but Cade might not be too happy about, you know, the critical injury that that Jax left him with. And he also hurt, you know, I think Jax probably hurt, you know, Cade's pride, but Cade's probably just thankful to be alive. Jax is not a bloodthirsty type. I really am tired of, you know, I got tired of kind of doing the whole murder hobo thing with my group. So I mean, like, Jax doesn't want to kind of go and put the final shot, you know, through the back of Cade's, you know, skull or something like that and finish him off. No, I kind of like, you know, the story developing, more characters coming online, that kind of thing. And now we've actually got a few characters starting to develop here. This is our adventure journal here for the Nar Shaddaa job. But we're starting to get more characters in here, and I'm actually going to be adding another one here because it's about to come up. We don't know much about this guy yet. We're going to actually call him just a merc in here because we have limited space. So I just created a random character. So basically we have Grax Vorgel, hired Trandoshan mercenary, currently working for Jabba the Hutt. He's working on his own at the moment. Jabba has possibly taken an interest in, you know, in the cargo. Learned about the transaction. Professor Vexar has, you know, been talking to everybody about it, wondering who the hell's bringing him these kyber crystals. So I mean, it got through Mos Eisley pretty quickly. And now Jax is, you know, they're just finishing up at the cantina. We're going to kind of move on to the next scene. Now, the next scene, what I see as, we're going to be kind of returning to the Driftwood to hand off those goods. So the first thing we're going to do is check to see. Where I lowered the chaos. Did I lower the chaos factor? I didn't lower the chaos factor. Actually, after the last scene, I'm going to say Jax kind of felt maybe somewhat in control of kind of what was going on. Is that really kind of fair? He kind of grabbed Thalos, Professor Vexar, dealt with him, took him to a, you know, I'd say Jax probably had a good handle on the last scene. So I am going to lower the chaos factor to 4. I think we're probably... Oops. What did I just do? I think we're probably in good shape there. So I'm just going to lower that chaos factor to 4. And that's where we're going to be right now. So the next scene that I envision... Yeah, I just started video editing software that I didn't mean to start. So the next scene that I foresee is back on the Driftwood, transferring the cargo over, handing it over to Professor Vexar. Kind of like Jax wants to be done with this guy, but we'll make a roll here just to see what comes up on the chaos factor here. 9, no problem. Things are going to kind of continue. I'm just going to call it the handoff. Now, as we kind of get going here, so Jackson and the professor are on their way back to the Driftwood, walking through the streets of Mos Eisley, avoiding, you know, some of the seedier characters kind of walking about. But most people are just moisture farmers and such. But you know, Mos Eisley is again known as the hive of scum and villainy. There are a lot of smugglers and bounty hunters and mercenaries that hang out here. Jax is keeping a very close eye, just kind of keeping his eyes open, keeping his blaster at his side, making sure it doesn't, you know, disappear, you know, by way of a pickpocket or something like that. Mos Eisley's, you know, not the safest place to be these days. And they're walking back. They kind of, you know, the professor is talking the whole time. So I mean, Jax is hearing more about kyber crystals and lightsaber construction that he's ever really wanted to hear in his life. And the professor is just, well, yes, I know, and something very interesting about them is, and Jack's going, yeah, okay, let's just get back to the docking bay. We can get your cargo. And Jack's just thinking, and you can get out of my life, and I can just get paid for this job. So the way I kind of see it, also as part of the handoff, is we got one more one more little issue to deal with. That there's this Trandoshan mercenary somewhere. Now I have given him stats just by basically making him Trandoshan mercenary here on the adversary's site, so that makes him a rival. A rival level. But we can also kind of take a closer look here. We can do some rolls here just to get us some ideas about him. But let's just make sure I understand where the scene is going first. Jax comes back to Docking Bay 56. He arrives with, he's arriving with Professor Vexar. What is Grax doing? Grax has kind of made his way to the Docking Bay. He's probably figured it out that, you know, this is how he's ended up here. He's figured out who the professor was waiting for. He's probably been tailing this guy the last maybe even the last few days since Java first kind of caught wind of this, or Java's network caught wind of this transaction. The professor's just been shooting off his mouth, not thinking at all that, you know, he's looking to end up on the wrong end of a blaster, or turned over to the Imperials. Who knows? Maybe there's a you know, a bounty out there for people dealing in illegal goods such as this. This is a highly restricted item. Anyway, so we're making our way back here. I'm going to I need my fate chart here, because we are going to just first of all see whether so the thought is Grax is going to either be waiting in the Docking Bay, or maybe he's already stormed the ship. Kay probably wouldn't let him on, but maybe he's found his way onto the ship. So why don't we start there? Is Grax just in the Docking Bay, you know, waiting for Jax and the professor? I'll just say it's a 50-50. We got a chaos factor of 4. So on a 50-50, it's a 35 or under. That's a 46, so no. So the worst case scenario here, Grax has already stormed the ship and is holding Kay hostage. Although I'm going to say holding Kay hostage in the holding bay on board. He's found the kyber crystals, but was interrupted when he heard Jax and Vexar enter the docking bay. If you are watching, you can kind of see how I make my notes, and I'm trying to keep them brief, so things, because I'm more interested in kind of making this move forward and have some fun playing, but I also like to create my session reports and such afterwards. I like to keep track of these things. So to me, it's a narrative that I can look back on later on. So there you go. So Jax enters the docking bay. Is the ramp down? There's a good chance that Grax has not even considered this. So I'm going to say it's likely that the ramp is down. So on a chaos factor of 4, we're looking at a 50 or less. Yes, the ramp is down. So Jax kind of enters with Professor Vexar right behind him. The door slides open into the docking bay, and they step foot. And about 3 steps in, Jax stops, puts a hand out, stops the professor. Hold up. Drops his hand to his own blaster at his side, and the ramp is down. And Professor goes, "What? My good man, what is it? Shush. 1 second. Are you carrying a blaster?" Is the professor carrying a blaster? That's a good question. I'm going to say very unlikely. He probably doesn't even think that he should be carrying a blaster. So, very unlikely on a Chaos Vector 4, 50 or less. 24. No. I'm just going to make a note. Not carrying a blaster. I'm going to say not carrying a weapon. That is very likely. So immediately Jax is curious and he's concerned. He didn't leave that ramp down. He knows he didn't leave that ramp down. Kay probably wouldn't have left the ship. She was kind of left in charge, told not to go anywhere, told not to let anybody on. Jax drops his hand to his holster and draws his blaster. Stay here. And he keeps his finger close to the trigger as he starts walking towards the driftwood with the blaster out. And he's kind of approaching, starts calling it, Kay? Kay, are you there? Alright, what's Grax gonna do here? Now, I think we need to know a little bit more about Grax here. So I'm just gonna make a note. Tells Vexar to stay back, and Jack calls out for Kay. Okay, we got some concerns. He thinks, there could be a problem here. He's right. Jax has had maybe too many issues here already, so I need to get to Une. And let's try to find out a little bit about Grax. Trandoshan. Alright, so let's start with a modifier here. Just pop up to Grax here. 97. Unseemly? Yeah, he's a Trandoshan mercenary. 35. Adept. An unseemly adept. Adept. So I'm saying adept in adept in firearms. It's adept in blasters. So it's probably where he is, and that's fine, because if we look over here at the rival, he's got a blaster rifle, and he's good at them. He's got a rank of 2 in ranged heavy, which is what the blaster rifles are here. He's rolling 2 yellows. Yeah, makes sense. But he, because of that, I think he knows he's good. All right. What else? I'm not gonna roll for power level. I've already kind of just figured that out. Now let's just see if we can figure out kind of a little bit about his motivation here. We got 51. Collaborate. And the noun, 96. Collaborate magic. Collaborate magic. Alright, now we kind of talked, I kind of figured that Grax didn't have a partner, but maybe that's not entirely true. Maybe he does have a partner, just not here. Collaborate magic. This seems to suggest a Force user to me. No, I think it's unlikely Jabba's got a Force user in his employ, but it's possible. So collaborate magic suggests that Grax is looking to make a bigger score than what he thinks. Grax is going to betray Jabba. He's been in touch with the Empire. He's been in touch with the Inquisitors. Again. And is looking to sell the crystals off himself. This is going to make him persona non grata with Jabba the Hutt, but for the amount of credits he thinks he might be able to get for a crate of kyber crystals, he's willing to risk it. All right, interesting. All right. Jack's approaching. Kay? You there, Kay? I gotta fix a couple little typos because they're bothering me looking at them on screen. Alright, does Grax answer? I'm thinking... Let's just give it a 50-50. So I'm going to flip on back to my fate chart here. $50-50. 91 is a no, he doesn't answer. Jax approaches the ship and starts to walk up the ramp. Now, if we kind of take a look here and we go to the Driftwood, I probably have... I know I've got a Trandoshan somewhere. You can see I was running some Deadlands recently here. A bunch of other things here. What I need is a Trandoshan. Actually, let me see if I've got a Trandoshan in my tokens. Well, I've got Gruck, but we can't use Gruck. Or we're not going to use Gruck. Here we go. This is from my last campaign. We're just going to use... Oops, wrong area here. So let's just set this up. Go to the Driftwood. So, cargo hold. Jack's here entering. And this dude with the sunny disposition here was a bounty hunter character from my last campaign by the name of Adwaba, but for now his name is for now his name is Grax. Okay. Jack's. I'm just assuming I'm reading this whole thing right. That this is the entrance, where the ramp comes down. He comes up into this area, and then the ramp closes here, right? And then he's able to step back into the bay. So as he kind of steps into the what is actually kind of like the main corridor here. Still blaster drawn. Not pointing anything, but ready, but at the ready. And he looks around, calls out again, this time towards the cockpit. Kay? Where are you? And everything's quiet. Now, here you go. Is Kay going to make a noise? Kay is being held hostage. Kay's a little, Kay's nervous. Kay's maybe a little afraid. But Kay's also, we don't know a lot about Kay or motivations yet, but she's definitely been with Jax for some time, and I think even though they don't really speak the same language, I think they've got a bit of a bond. So I'm thinking she would very likely call out at least something to let Jax know where she is. 03 is an absolute yes, yeah. With a very likely under 10 is an extreme yes. he calls out for Kay again. Kay screeches. Just screeches out in something Ewokish. And it's definitely sounding panicked. Jax turns, blaster now pointing towards the back into the engineering bay, and he steps kind of around the corner, noticing that the door to the cargo hold here is open, and he can just barely see a Trandoshan with a nasty snarl at his face standing there, and he's just batted Kay right in the head with the butt of his rifle. He's got with the butt of his blaster rifle and knocked Kay to the floor. And Jack just brings his gun up. All right, whoever you are, drop it. What are you doing on my ship? And the Trandoshan looks at him. I'm here for the cargo. Not gonna happen, my friend. Just put that blaster down or I'll end you right here. Think not, human. And Jax looks and you can see that the footlocker size, crate, metal crate, is just kind of right behind Kay and the Trandoshan. And Kay's now on the floor, holding her head. Jax has a obligation to protect her. He's got a sense of responsibility, and the mercenary guy, whoever this Trandoshan is, isn't pointing the gun at Kay. Not yet, anyway. But he's definitely kind of right above Kay, and with Jax pointing the blaster at him, he now brings that rifle to bear. Does Grax point it at Jax? I'm just going to go with a 50-50. There's a chance he points it at Jax, but he may just point it at Kay. So 0-5. Absolutely he points it at Jax. All right. And I'm thinking that he points his blaster rifle at Jax, and the extreme yes is he's not even now paying attention to Kay at all. And now he just pointed this rifle at Jax, and Jax is aiming his blaster back right at the Trandoshan. And Jax warns him, I want you off my ship now. I'm leaving, but I'm taking the cargo. Alright, Jack's got to make a decision here. Things could go very poorly. That professor out there is not going to be helpful. Kay's spear, she's got a little Ewok spear, and that's definitely not going to be in the cargo bay with her. She's got nothing to work with. Jax has already got his blaster out, but he's got quick draw now. So Jax thinks about it. He's like, "All right, just don't hurt her." And he holsters his weapon. The Trandoshan kind of laughs, almost evilly. He's still got the blaster rifle in his hand. He's still pointing it at Jax, but he's kind of just wavered a little bit. The smuggler's not a threat without a weapon in his hand. And he's starting to think he's won. You know, he's going to be able to walk off, walk right off with this cargo. And Jax just kind of puts his hands up. All right, take it. Not worth dying over, right? Exactly, human. And Grax kind of drops the blaster rifle a little bit, no longer pointing it directly at Jax. At which point, how's he going to get it off? So is he going to carry it off himself? Like, is Grax going to sling his blaster rifle and pick up this cargo? That doesn't seem very smart. As soon as he's got that, Jax can draw that blaster and shoot him. Yeah. So here we go. So yeah. There we go. So Grax instead has a different idea. You pick up the cargo. Jax goes, I have to tend to my friend there. You want to take that cargo? You walk right off. You go right ahead. I'm not picking that up. Pick it up! Alright. His hand's still held high. Jax kind of walks over into the doorway here. Like, alright, look, my buyer's not going to be happy, the seller's not going to be happy. I don't care, human! Alright. Okay, you okay? And, she kind of chirps a little bit, and Jax looks down going, are you sure you're okay, Kay? And the Trandoshan, I don't know, we're going to try to get that Trandoshan to kind of look at Kay so that Jax can maybe kind of get the drop on him here. So we're going to call that a bit of a deception. We're going to call that a deception. Make it an average one. So Jax, because he's got a rank in it, he's got 2 green dice and a yellow die versus 2 purple dice here. That's going to be, so we got a blank on the green, a single fail, which is going to cancel out a single success on a green here. We got 1 success, but we got 2 threat. Alright, I'm just going to quickly kind of flip over here to my cheat sheet here. So 2 threat. The opponent immediately can perform 1 free maneuver. That's one thing that we can do. But this is in combat. This isn't really a combat thing. This is a... I don't know, how does threat really work in this case? So threat, this isn't a combat thing at all. Whatever the case, he's successfully deceived Grax here. So Grax kind of goes to take a look at him. Go look down at Kay. There we go. But he brings the blaster rifle down at Kay while he's going to look at him. There we go. There's the threat. Should he do anything, Kay might get shot. At which point, let's roll some initiative. Jax isn't really too. Does Jax want to hand off this cargo, man? Oh, I don't know. Is he gonna let this guy just kind of walk out of here with his cargo? That's not going to go well. He can't do that. But he needs to get him away from Kay. So no, you know what? No, he's not going to roll initiative. He's going to walk over and he's going to pick up that cargo. At which point the Trandoshan kind of brings the blaster rifle back up and goes behind Jax and pokes him in the back with the blaster rifle. Oops, I don't need to do that. And he's going to kind of lead him off. So there we go. Kay's safe now. He's, you know, Jax has kind of fulfilled his obligation of taking care of Kay so far here. And he's marched off the ship by Grax, who has a blaster rifle pointed at Jax's back. So yeah, so they return over here, enter into the, I guess I can just be a touch bigger to match size, that's all right. Walks back into the main corridor. Jax with his elbow kind of taps the button to put the hydraulics to work again, and the ramp descends back into the docking bay. Grax kind of again nudges him with the blaster rifle. And the two of them walk down that ramp. Okay. At this point we're gonna be off the ship anyway, so I'm just going to shift back just to this page here. So Jax walks off the ship with Grax behind him. And where's the professor? Is the professor at least hiding? I'm thinking highly unlikely. He still isn't really getting this whole thing. So I'm thinking highly unlikely that the professor is, we'll go very unlikely the professor is hiding. 38. Is the professor hiding? Sorry. Is the professor hiding? I should say very unlikely that he's hiding. I needed a 15. No, he's not hiding. Standing by the docking bay door is the professor, who Grax now sees. Who's that? And he brings his blaster rifle, points it over Jax's shoulder, right towards the professor, who's standing there going, "Oh my! Oh no! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!" Jax is gonna have to do something now. Let's roll initiative. Let's start with initiative. So for Jax, so for initiative with this again, it's been a little while since I had to roll initiative in here. So if the character's aware, ready for combat, that's a cool roll. Whereas I'm gonna for Jax, he's ready. He's ready. So he's going to roll cool. Jack's going to get 2 successes. Things are looking up. That's good. However, this guy's going to be rolling vigilance. Unfortunately, he's got a good vigilance, a really good vigilance. He's going to roll 1 success. Now, for our friend here, I'm just going to give him a whopping 1 die. For our NPC friend here. That's going to be a 0. So, we got PCs. Well, basically the way this is going to work, just because of who we have here, it's the initiative order is going to be Jax, Grax, Vexar. I just realized we got a lot of X's going on with my randomization of names. Jax is an incidental. Drops the crate. Whips around. Quick drawing for another incidental. His blaster. And firing it right into the belly. Attempting to fire it right into Grax's belly. The crate crashes into the floor. Bang! Startles the professor, of course, who's now already holding up his hands, realizing that he's got a blaster rifle pointed at him. This is not really an engaged kind of weapon, though. A blaster rifle is a medium ranged weapon. Can it? Well, engaged. I'm going to say just the way it's going. So he draws and fires point blank here. So how is this going to work? Let me do a quick check on combat stuff here. Because Jax is... Just checking some of my notes here. Jax is engaged with this guy. For ranged, engaged with the light is going to be a difficulty of 2. So 2 purple dice, but he's got 1 yellow and 2 green. Unfortunately, we're going to cancel a couple of successes out with purples here, so we're going to end up with 1 success and 1 advantage. All right, 1 success is good. That's all right. That's better than no successes here. So with 1 advantage, though, there's not much that Jax can do with 1 advantage here. There's nothing that really applies. So he draws the blaster, sticks it right, just kind of draws the blaster, jams it into the belly of the Trandoshan mercenary as he whips around and pulls the trigger, blasts him. So with the 1, it's going to do 7 points of damage. He has a soak of 5, which means it's going to do 2. Now, he's got a wound threshold of 15 here. I think I can keep track of this here. So he's actually going to take 2 wounds from that. As Jax blasts him. He kind of takes a couple of steps back. Now, is he wearing armor? I think he might be wearing armor. No armor? Oh, he is wearing armor. That's why he's got a soak of 5. The Trandoshan is not going to be too thrilled with this, so okay. Kind of make some notes as to what's going on here. Grex, on the other hand, is got a blaster rifle now. A ranged heavy at short range is going to be 3 purple dice. Is that what he's going to do? He's going to he probably wants to kill Jax, but he realized he's too close. He's got 2 yellow. You know what? He's going to use it maybe as an improvised weapon here, and he's just going to whack, swing it around, trying to hit Jax in the face with the butt of the rifle. Melee, this guy's pretty good at. So when we're dealing with melee, it's been a little while here. Combat check. Melee is always going to be with 2 purple dice. Grax is going to be rolling with a melee weapon, 2 and 1, yellow green plus 2 purple dice here. He swings. All right, so we got. That's not good. So we got 2 successes plus an advantage. The advantage isn't going to do any good for him, but the 2 successes unfortunately are. What do we have in terms of damage for improvised weapons in Star Wars? How does this work? Combat. Do we have anything about improvised weapons in here? Alright, let's just find our way to the combat section here. Or at least gear and equipment. This might give us what we need. Something like a club maybe will kind of work for, just for the sake of this. Weapons. Truncheon, maybe? Let's go with that. Gauge. Yeah, that works. Although I don't think it would have to disorient skill here. So we're going to call it, so it's going to have a +2 and it's got a 5 critical on it. So +2. What did I say for successes here? I think it was 2 successes, which means that's a 4 damage against Jax. However, call it blunt. Jax, however, has a soak of 3. So he's only going to take 1 point. So his 1 point of damage kind of from that. Which point the professor, so Grax clocks him in the head, but Jax, is kind of is quick on his feet and only kind of takes a glancing blow on his chin, and Grax, throws himself back away from Jax, getting that blaster rifle ready. He's gonna shoot Jax probably next time. Jax. Now, Vexar, seeing this. What is Vexar going to do? What does the professor do in this case? He's not a fighter. And the two are struggling. There's a cargo box, which maybe the professor is not even clued in that that's his cargo. In fact, he probably hasn't. He's too busy worrying about getting shot. I'm thinking Vexar is going to run for cover. There's not much in the docking bay for cover. I'm going to say maybe there's some pallets, that kind of thing, like the repulsors, repulsor lifts and that such. He's going to throw himself out of the way. He quickly ducks behind. Almost. Yelling out in panic as he kind of runs behind and ducks behind a repulsor lift that's just kind of off to the side. We'll come back to him as we kind of go. I know that should be okay. Jax now there. Jax with Grax getting ready to open fire. Jax is gonna move. Jax will move and toss himself behind. Kind of run towards the docking bay door. Where Vexar is, and toss himself behind, a repulsor lift as well. All the while blasting as he's going, pew, pew, pew. opening fire on Grax as he runs for cover and ducks behind cover. So we're gonna make another roll here. Jax opens fire now. All of this going on, blaster fire in a Mos Eisley docking bay. This can't be good either. Eventually this is going to attract some attention. Jax! 2 green, a yellow, and he's moved himself into short range now. So we're going to toss one of the purple. It's going to be 1 purple, a yellow, and 2 greens. One success plus an advantage. The advantage is not really going to be helpful here. There's no strain for anything that he could get rid of. However, with the 1 point, with the 1 success, that means he'll be doing 7 points of damage again to Grax, which means he'll be doing a whopping 2. So once again, he dies for cover beside Vexar as he's blasting at Grax. Him again. So he's done 2 more points of actual damage. As you can see, Grax is actually still in pretty good shape. Okay. Grax's turn. I don't think Jax doesn't really have much in the way of other weapons. Grax is now mad. You know, he brings that blaster rifle of his up, which is a heavy blaster rifle, and he just starts blasting. So yeah, what's he going to be rolling here with a heavy blaster rifle? He's going to be rolling 2. Yeah, he's going to be rolling. Going to be rolling 2. Okay. He's at short range. Short range, which means he's only 1. However, he is dealing with Jax's cover as well. So we're going to be tossing. Where are we here? So what happens is taking cover gives him a +1 range defense. So typically he should be rolling 1 purple because it's short, but instead he's going to be rolling 2 purple along with his 2 yellow dice. Okay, that is actually going to be 1 success, unfortunately for Jax. There's some advantages and there's some advantage and despair here that cancel each other out, so it's a whopping 1 success for 10 points of damage. That's going to be kind of crazy. Subtract 3, so for 7. We'll just call that blaster fire. At which point Jax takes a... As the Grax is just kind of go opening fire, Jax kind of tries to keep himself, but repulsor lifts float and such, and Jax kind of moving around, trying to keep down, takes a shot in the shoulder. Not good for Jax. Not at all. This could be really, really bad. So that was Grax's turn. Vexar is hiding behind, going, "What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?" And Jax is now nursing him, grabbing his shoulder. "Just stay down." Jax is going to, if he keeps standing here, going toe-to-toe with this Trandoshan, he's going to get killed. He, not going to do any of that. Jax runs for the docking bay door, out from under cover, dodging any more blaster fire, as Grax is still blasting away. and he slaps the panel, where we're going to call that his action. He's got to activate the door, and he dives out into the spaceport. Security! Security! So he starts yelling. He's just hoping anybody kind of starts, is listening. Is there security within earshot? For Jax's sake, I'm kind of hoping that's the case. Otherwise, he's gonna probably lose this cargo. It seems very likely. So I'm gonna say very likely. We're on chaos factor of 4. Very likely that yes, there's security within earshot. 41. 41. We needed a 65. Yes, there is security within earshot. All right. Security comes running. There's now definitely how many security? Let's just call it a D6. 4 security guards. 4 spaceport security guards come running. I'm gonna have them just kind of. Let's just have them kind of. Well, let's have them kind of throw some initiative out too. Let's see here. We're going to need. Let's see here. We have something that's just spaceport security detail. Alright, that's not good. The Trandoshan. Sorry, let's go back to the mercenary here. We got the spaceport security detail here. Alright, what we're going to do is just kind of, we know that he was at 4 wounds. The security detail is here. There we go. Security detail comes running. They don't really have much here for anything, so I think we need a cool roll from them, which is based on presence. 2. 2, I believe, puts them right after Jax. So, at this point, though, now we can kind of... I should say, instead of good, let's say friendly NPC. Something like that, friendly NPC. So, Jax is now out in the spaceport yelling. Security hears and comes running. They see he's got a blaster in his hand. And of course, they're hearing heavy blaster fire from within Docking Bay 56. Alright, Jax has maybe got some temporary friends, okay? They got blaster pistols. They're drawing them as they come through. The Docking Bay door is already open. Security comes through, kind of, they come through and start spreading out. Seeing the Trandoshan opening fire, he's done blasting now because Jax is kind of ducked out of sight. Security detail comes in. Alright, drop it! Drop it right now! They hold. They're not going to shoot. The Trandoshan doesn't necessarily need to die. Alright, now that he's outnumbered, does Grax care? I mean, he's a pretty skilled dude. He might even be able to take the security detail out if he wanted to. But does he... does Grax stand down? Let's just call it a 50-50. That's a 61. I needed 35 or less. That is a no. Grax does not stand down. Grax starts blasting at the... Grax starts blasting. Now we're talking about minions here this time. So our minions, our security detail, each are going to have a wound threshold of 4. They are wearing pat armor, so they've got a soak of 4. What we're really talking about here, though, is there are 4 of them. I'm just going to do this because we know who they as a combination, because they're minions. They've got 16 health between the 4 of them. So Grax doesn't listen. They gave him a warning. Grax doesn't listen. He starts blasting. This could go very poorly for these poor guards. The security detail. Okay, so let me just make my notes here. Alright, so at least now Jax has got somebody else for him to pay attention to, even though this could go wrong, very wrong. 1 purple, and he's going to be on 2 yellows. He's going to gain 2 advantage, plus 2 successes this time. I'm going to flip back to my cheat sheet. Because with 2 advantage, that's actually something. So I'm not quite in the right spot here. There we go. So with 2 advantage, he's gonna. They're blasting so much that they're panicked. So he's gonna give them a black die on their next check. Okay, we're just gonna kind of make a note of that. That's going to be for the security detail. But let's roll for. Sorry, what did I say? 2 successes. So 2 successes plus the 9 for the damage. We're looking at 11 minus their soak of 4 is going to be 7. So Grax starts blasting, gets his rifle up, and blast just hits one of the security detail dead center. The blast was strong enough that his armor is unable to soak it, and he just drops. Another one takes a shot in the shoulder as Grax keeps blasting, and these guys are now they're concerned because now they're getting taken down by a frickin' Trandoshan going wild in the in a docking bay. Okay, friendly NPC time. Since technically speaking, they already kind of went. The security detail's not really going to be able to do anything, but Vexar can. And with the docking bay door open, Vexar makes a run for it into the spaceport. So Jax, who's now kind of just on one side of the door, just out, having called for security detail, security guards. Now the Zabrak professor is bolts out into the spaceport, just booting it, running for it. He's more interested now in saving his own life than he is in anything else regarding this. Back to the top of the initiative order, Jax kind of comes around that corner of the docking bay and just brings his pistol. I do have my little toy here. Brings the blaster up, takes aim at Grax, Yeah, so that's a movement to kind of get within, and he starts blasting again. Pulls the trigger. So back here again, Jax. He is pretty much still at the same range here. I'm going to call it. So the 1 purple die with 2 green and a yellow. Success with 2 advantage. So Jax takes the blaster, fires, hits Grax. So we got, with 1, we got 7 points. Again, Grax is not really overly injured because he's got that soak of 5. But that's enough to kind of that's enough to hit him, and he sees Jax, and he's just so angered by Jax, and that Jax is actually, so here we go. This is the way the advantage kind of works. Jax starts blasting, pew pew. He hits Grax kind of in the chest plate of his padded armor, but then he also kind of fires at the box itself, kind of in the direction of the box, and yells out, "If I can't have it, neither can you." He's not really going to destroy the Kyber crystals, but he's actually so with that, he's actually going to give Grax a 1 black. That Grax is now distracted, and it actually is Grax's turn. Though it's not. It's the friendlies. Vexar, I think, is kind of technically. We're gonna just assume Vexar is out of the combat now. We're actually gonna take him. We're gonna take the. Actually, let's leave the lowest in anyway, in case Vexar needs to be in there. I'm not going to bother with the deception roll, even though I guess it is probably should get a deception roll of some sort here. We're over an hour here. I should be wrapping this up soon, but we want to finish this combat. So the friendlies are going to be doing something now. They got a black die against them now. They are going to be blasting away. So they all start blasting away now. So minions only roll once for the whole group of them. They get one target. And their target, of course, is going to be Grax. They be shooting. Black die came up nothing. One of the green dice came up nothing, and 1 came up with a success and an advantage. The advantage is not going to help, but the success is good. So that's, with the blaster pistol, that's 7 points of damage again to Grax. Oops, sorry, wrong place. So Grax again soaks 2 of it. He's now lost half of his wounds. Now maybe there's a chance he'll surrender. Alright, so does Grax surrender at this point? There's a good chance I think he might. He's taken more. He's been wounded. He's hurting now. He's got blaster bolts that have hit him and managed to do some damage through his armor. He is a little cocky though. He could possibly take these guys out. Does he surrender? Just call it a 50-50 on again. Chaos factor of 4. 29. You know what? That actually is a success. Grax, now realizing kind of like how outnumbered he is, alright, I surrender. Tosses down his rifle and puts his Trandoshan-y, lizardy hands up. And that's actually probably a good place to stop right there. So let's just kind of... we're not going to need these guys so much anymore. All right. I'm just going to grab names here. Oop. All right. Attempts to steal the car. I'm just going to do that. That kind of got a little out of control. So I'm thinking here. I'm thinking for our next scene, which is going to be whenever the next session is here. We're going to be raising that chaos factor to 5 because I'm thinking that was a little too out of control. And there's a very good chance this went poorly because now that the security is involved, hey, there's a smuggling operation going at the moment. This could go really poorly for Jax and Vexar. So we'll be moving on to scene 10 next time, but we're going to go to a chaos factor of 5. Destiny pool, I think, can stay put. I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll reroll Destiny maybe every 5 sessions or so. So maybe when we kind of hit episode 10, I'll reroll Destiny, something like that. I'm going to need to make an obligation roll here. I just need a couple things quick here, so because I didn't really use it and forgot about it. We still have two dark points of destiny there. But let's make our obligation roll for next time. 77. So again, obligation's not going to come up. And the last kind of thing we're going to deal with is the XP log. So this was episode 6, and we're an hour in, so I'm going to call that another 4. Jax might have some explaining to do next time. And that's where we're going to kind of wrap things up. If you are watching, thanks for watching. This has kind of been fun for me. I've been struggling a little bit. I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do for this session. I thought things could kind of go... I wasn't really sure. It started to feel a little too easy that, you know, oh, he sells the Kyber crystals, he drops them off with a buyer, and that's it, and moves on. Great, he gets paid. Cool. It seemed a little too easy. We needed one more... You know, Cade gave him the warning, right? We needed one more problem to come up, and that's where I came up with the idea of, you know, the hired gun, basically, and things kind of went bad. I think what we've kind of determined is Jax needs some friends, more than just Kay. Maybe he needs to take on. Take on some hirelings here. Maybe he needs to take on a crew to help him with his smuggling. So, anyway, until next time, may the Force be with you.